Welcome to Four Pros Podcast, where we cultivate culture in the world of basketball. I'm your host, Thomas Gibson, and I have a very, very special guest here with me today, my teammate, and also the best thing about it was my roommate over this past season, Jett Speelman. How you doing, my guy?
Good, brother. How are you?
It's great. I'm good, man. Can't complain. I just want to say thank you for being here. Obviously, I think this is a very great episode. For me personally, it's a little more personable episode, even though it's only the second guest. But like I said, I think we spent a lot of time on the road together. Learned each other ins and outs, man. And I'm grateful to call you my teammate and also my brother, bro. So
appreciate that, man.
But yeah, man, go ahead. Let's get it started. Where's basketball taking you in this world, man?
Man, basketball has taken me a lot of places. So I started off in Iceland. Then my second year went to Germany. Got injured, so I had to come home, rehab, all that fun stuff. And then went to Luxembourg for a season. Went to the Netherlands for 2 seasons in a row. Loved it there. And then made it to Portugal. And then here I am, Mexico. So
nice.
Hopefully, in a month, I'll tell you where I'm going next.
yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead and just start from the transition from college to your professional years, man. Tell me about, your later years in college, junior, senior year, and, how did that go? How did that transition to you being a pro?
Yeah, so I went to Denison University, but originally I went to Iceland. It's a D2 school in Ohio. After my sophomore year, I decided to transfer. Wasn't the best fit. I had some other options going on, but my best friend was playing at Denison, and he was like, "Hey man, you might as well just come here. It's a good education, and we could get busy on the court. Played together in high school, won some districts, went to state together." So I was like, I know what he can do. I know what I can do. So decided to go to Denison. I had a great ending of my career, 2 years. We ended up winning the league my second year, and then my junior year, and then my senior year we were top 10 in the nation the whole year. Didn't end up making the NCAA tournament on some BS, but we'll let that go. Still a little hurt about that.
Yeah.
And then I was fortunate enough to, make it over to Iceland for my first year.
Yeah. How was that transition going from, like I said, college to your professional year? Did you hit any brick walls? Language barriers, culture shock as far as food, anything, locations?
Yeah, you could really say all of the above.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've been to Canada, but besides that, I hadn't really been out of the country before, so let alone out of the country on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting on the plane, and thankfully there was only 2 flights, and Iceland's 5 hours away. I think I went to New York and then 5 hours up, so it wasn't the crazy European travel day. But let alone my first time really traveling alone, I was nervous about that. And then it was all right, man, I just get off the plane and find this dude in a car who's supposed to pick me up. And you know how that is, taking me where I'm supposed to go. I think I took a nap and then went to practice. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
I was tired. And, I'm thinking it's kind of similar to college. The locker room, we're going to be joking around and goofing and doing all that fun stuff. And, my teammates were great, friendly, spoke great English, but, I'll never forget, I walk in and I'm putting my shoes on. I dapped some people out, told them my name, but they're kind of in their own zone, just speaking in their language. And I'm tying my shoes wow, this is the first time I've been in a locker room where I don't understand anything.
Yeah.
I'm an odd man out.
Yeah.
So that was unique. The food wasn't, they had a lot of lamb because sheep are out there, and they can withstand the cold weather, with all the fur and everything. So, but the food was solid. Didn't really have anything like that. But definitely a massive culture shock.
Yeah.
Being alone, playing a different style of basketball.
Yeah.
So
I think I've asked you before, but what language do they speak?
They speak Icelandic.
Icelandic.
Their own language.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Was that kind of hard to learn, or?
I learned a little bit.
Yeah.
But some of their words were crazy long.
Yeah.
A lot of K's and G's in there, just kind of,
Yeah.
So I tried my best. I could say hi, how's it going? Hello, goodbye, some stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely could have tried harder.
Yeah.
to learn the language.
But yeah. So as far as the food, you said they had lamb. Obviously, I'm sure they had the beef and chicken and everything too.
Of course.
But what were their sides? Was it more like vegetables?
A lot of potatoes. A lot of potatoes. It's cold. It's hard farming. Not a lot of rice. A lot of any of their candies is weird. Had licorice in it. because licorice is like a root and it's able to grow there easily.
Yeah.
So I go to the store, and it was funny, on Saturdays, all the candy would be like 50% off. So me and my roommate would go and just fill it out. Like, you know, they have like the bins and stuff, and you just get a bag and then weigh it.
Yeah.
But like 9 out of 10 of the candy, if it's a gummy, it's got some type of licorice in there. If it's a
So
chocolate,
you're
it's
eating
got
the
licorice. No, I wasn't.
I was
Occasionally would, but like before I knew it was in everything, and then I figured out the word for licorice, and I would look at it. I'm like taking a bite. I'm thinking it's like some gummy bears, black licorice flavored. Surprise! So.
Oh man.
They had a liquor that was black licorice, and it was disgusting. You had to drink it warm. It was like licorice and salty, and it was.
That's gross.
Like the texture of like a Jägermeister kind of cough syrupy. It was disgusting.
Oof, I can only imagine, man. In Finland, they eat a lot of licorice.
Yeah.
You know, and so I can totally see that licorice was almost in everything in Finland too, man. And I'm definitely not a fan of licorice, man. That's So, basketball wise, man, like how was your first year? Like, was it okay? Did you feel like, I mean, off the court, you say that you hit maybe a little wall or something, but you know, on the court, was it pretty smooth? You feel like that was a good outlet for you?
Yeah, on the court it was nice. I played well, had a good first season. I liked the coach. My teammates looked for me, and for me, you know, I always had my issues with my coach at Denison. He was always, you know, he wanted to play 10, 12 dudes, and I never understood that. Me and him kind of went back and forth on that. And, you know, I would tell him, like, yo, I'm the best player. Why am I playing 25 minutes? Like, give me more, blah, blah, blah. I'm giving you this. So it was nice to be in a situation where it's like, okay, like, you're playing 38 minutes, which is exhausting, but it's a different level of comfort. Like, okay, I'm just not going to come out the game.
Yeah, no matter what.
The ball, even if I'm not getting the ball a lot, I'm going to get a certain amount of shots just because I'm out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was a little bit more relaxing, a little more freeing to go out and be like, okay, even though the guy's playing tough D, I know I'm going to be able to. I'm just out here so long, I can get the rock when I want it for the most part. So that was nice. I was a Spanish coach, so he kind of had a lot of 2-man ball screens with the 4 and the 5, playing it kind of in a tandem like that. So I was able to pop, able to roll, able to post, and then space out. We had some good guards and some good bigs. So it was a good experience. I thought, you know, my game got a lot better. I thought I understood the European basketball way more. And I thought after that season coming home, I kind of had an idea of like what I could work on to, you know, really be successful and further my career.
So was college basketball a lot different than your first year being in Iceland? Like, was the style of play about the same? I know, like, obviously you don't have to worry about like defensive 3 seconds or anything like that, but do you feel like it was more physical overseas?
Yeah, I thought like it was faster. I thought the guys were better passers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think in the States, I don't know how Kansas State was, but like, you know, college teams, they want every pass with 2 hands on it. They want you coming off 2 feet. And I remember we were doing drills, and they're like, yo, just after you dribble it, just pass it with 1. It's quicker.
Yeah.
Pass it with 1. College coach is going to rip you for doing that. So you guys just pass it a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
A lot more handoff actions than I was used to, which I think kind of speeds up the game a little bit. Yeah, the physicality was more grown men than playing against guys in college. And certainly at, you know, the Division III level, in my senior year, I was like 235, 240, so I was just physically so much bigger and stronger than a lot of these dudes. And I could shoot it. So once I was popping out, I was just beating them in the post. They're like, okay, go ahead. So I'm just shooting wide open, or they're running out hard, shot fake, go around them.
Yeah.
So I definitely thought the competition was a lot better.
Yeah. Games is a lot easier when you can shoot the ball like you.
Way easier.
Nah, that's what's up, man. So, was there any memorable places that you visited in Iceland? Like, you know, I heard that it was a lot of greenery there, a lot of like
Iceland is beautiful. Iceland is beautiful, land of waterfalls. Yeah. It's a volcanic island. How the land is in the middle of 2 tectonic plates. So there's kind of some earthquakey stuff, but a lot of like molten lava comes out. So there's a lot of like natural steam. Like we'd be driving to a game, or just driving to Reykjavik, the capital, and you would just see these little pockets of steam coming out of the grass. So that was unique. Never seen that before.
Wow.
Some of the waterfalls, I can't think of some of the names, but they were huge and beautiful. They have the 2nd largest geyser in the world. I think the other one is some national park in the States. I'm blanking, and it shoots off every like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was unique to see. I've never seen something like that before. That, and you know, they had an active volcano, so occasionally you would see the smoke a little bit. They had the northern lights. Like Iceland is beautiful.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. It's cold and dark, but
Yeah.
if you're not there in like December, January, February, you're fine. You'll be solid.
So it was kind of like Finland, I would say, because it gets dark. Maybe around 10:30, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Stays dark for
Exactly.
the rest of the day or something. I forgot the exact time, but you probably get majority darkness than you are sunlight.
Majority
right?
dark, especially. Excuse me. In December, we're getting like 2.5 hours of light.
Yeah.
So that was probably the biggest adjustment.
Yeah, that's a trip. So you had to take all the like vitamin D pills.
Oh yeah, that's when the coffee addiction started.
Yeah, no, that's when it started.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey man, this guy Jett has a major, I wouldn't say addiction, but I mean you love coffee.
I love it, man. I love it.
You inspired me to drink more coffee, more caffeine a little bit, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I never just sat down and just enjoyed a cup of coffee.
That's the best.
Until you were my roommate, bro, and you was
cup
like,
of coffee and a chat, I think it's a great way to start the morning.
Yeah, for sure. But so how did you finish off that year? Like, y'all made playoffs. Did y'all win?
No, so we didn't end up making playoffs.
No.
So I come home, and the season, there's not many teams, so it's kind of quick. I think I got home in like maybe mid-April, late April, something like that.
Oh, in April.
Yeah, it was quick.
Oh,
it was quick. So I was home for a decent amount of time. But honestly, for me, I was cool with it.
Yeah.
Because it was dark. I was getting more and more homesick as the time it went on because I wasn't able to go home for Christmas. So I was kind of ready.
So you hit that wall, that freshman wall
for sure.
How was it? Like, especially being in Finland.
It was tough.
I mean, not Finland, but
I had waves of it. I think the first week I got there, I didn't like it. I think I remember calling my parents like, "Yo, I'm going home. Like, I'm tired of this because I'm jet lagged. I'm not understanding the language.
Yeah.
And like the first couple of days of practice, the ball, they're moving fast. I'm like, man, maybe the speed's too quick for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not the right guy for this team." And then you can imagine that snowball rabbit hole of negative dots. And all I needed was one good practice, and I'm like, yeah, I do this. Like, relax, dude. Been here for 4 days. The coach is like, hey, just get your feet wet. We know you're a rookie. Like, relax, dude. We like you. So I'm like, okay, but definitely hit a wall in the sense of like, I had a roommate, but some of the guys in Iceland have jobs, so he's working, and then I'll just see him at practice. We practice at like 7, maybe 6:37, depending on, you know what I'm saying. So he's gone in the morning. So it's just really just me chilling all day, every day. I'll go to the grocery store. I had a nice big river ran through, but again, it's super cold, so it's like I'll go out there and look at it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll go inside because it's freezing. So the loneliness, and not like I was crazy loneliness, but I was on my own for the first time.
Yeah.
It's really, and you know how that is. You can just get into like practice, come home, chill, wake up, eat, practice, come home, chill. It can get a little monotonous. So understanding ways to take my time up and enjoy the day and be semi-productive. Because I'm like, man, I can't just wait around to practice and play video games, stare at my phone. And at that time, I had some friends in college, some friends who had just moved to big cities. So I'm just looking on Instagram and seeing the stories, and I'm, in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, maybe I'm missing out on something.
Yeah.
But in the reality, they're missing like, oh, Speel's out there, he's hooping.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's perspective sometimes.
I was just gonna say perspective is everything, man. I remember I was just like that too, thinking the grass is greener on the other side, right? And knowing that it's not. Knowing that it's not.
Like, you guys are working 9-hour days.
Yeah.
Practicing and lifting and chilling.
Yeah. So what did you do to fill up your time?
I read a decent amount in Iceland. There was a library that had a lot of English books, so that was nice. We were sponsored by this big fitness gym that had like a pool and everything.
Okay.
And they had like 4 or 5 different levels of hot tub heat, couple cold tubs, and I had a pass. So during the day I might wake up, I might go lift, and then I'll go and chill at the pool for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, sit in the hot tub, get my body right, go read a little bit. And that was kind of it. My roommate at the time had a nice Xbox, so I would play that. Call friends. I was really just trying to figure out like, okay, how do I find stuff to fill the time of the day?
How long did it take you to figure that out?
Some time. Yeah.
But you feel like you figured it out.
Yeah,
within that year.
Routine and just and you're gonna have boredom.
Yeah,
you can't avoid that.
That's
but
true.
It was nice to just be able to get out and I think it was easier in other places I played just because the weather wasn't as
Crucial.
intense.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, okay, I can walk to the coffee shop, but I have to put on like 6 layers in a parka and a hood, and I'm getting just beat up by the wind is coming in and it's icy, and I'm like, man, why not just make coffee here?
Yeah.
Not leave the house.
The real definition of stay-at-home body.
Yeah. But also I had free lunch at like 2 different spots depending on the day. So it'd be nice. I could get out of the house, go eat there for like an hour and a half, chat with the waiter. So
that's what's up. It really sounds a lot like Finland, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, with the weather and everything, but just how everything goes. You had 2 practices a day, right? I'm assuming.
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah, one mandatory. But they had they called it like the academy, where they would like train the kids early in the morning at 9. So I would go and do the little workout with them.
The young boys, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd go to school. Like one of our players would put them through workouts and then do it with them. So me and him would just work out. And then like, you know, if I wanted to lift, I would lift.
That's what's up. So, talk about that transition from learning everything that you got from your first year, right? Going back home. How was that like? Because I think that's a whole different thing in itself. Like seeing, you know, Iceland, or me seeing Finland for my first time, and then getting back to the States and just, you know, your eyes are open. Like you just seeing a whole nother part of the world that majority of people hasn't seen. Like, were you excited to talk to your parents about it?
I was super excited. I was showing everyone pictures and photos. It was nice. My parents were able to make it out.
That's cool.
They had planned earlier, like a year in advance, a trip to Ireland with my aunt and uncle. And then once I had signed, I was over there like the first week was like the last week of their trip. So they were able to just, you know, puddle jump it to Iceland and then come home. Mm-hmm. So they were able to see some stuff, which was nice. But yeah, I was showing everyone photos and everything was brand new. And, you know, and then when it came to basketball, I'm playing in summer leagues and I'm playing way better because I'm used to different competition. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of exciting to like see like, wow, like I've gotten a lot better in a year.
Yeah.
Like, and now I know different styles of play and different ways I can get better. Like, you know, it was more motivation to get better, I think.
So you feel like you got a leg up on competition, and so how did that go going into Luxembourg, right? Your second year? Germany. I apologize.
It went. No, that's all good. It went well. So I remember I signed in Germany, and then I left end of July. They wanted us there early for conditioning, and it was brutal.
So you were home from April till July.
Yeah, to July.
Okay, yeah.
So it was nice. It was nice. I was staying with my parents. I was working out, seeing friends, just, you know, keeping with my family. And then, so I leave a little earlier than I thought I was going to leave because I think I left for Iceland end of August. Mm-hmm. So, but I was ready. I had plenty of time to prepare, and I get there, and my mindset was already different. I'm like, okay, I'm used to being on my own. I know I got to cook and kind of handle that, which sounds remedial, but like, you know, in college, I just go to the cafeteria, get whatever I want. Mm-hmm. I might make some eggs in the morning, but that's it.
Yeah.
So I was excited. I was the only import again, so I kind of understood, like, okay, like I might have a heavier load than what I'm used to. So I just felt even more confident, you know, going into that. Unfortunately, I was injured because I thought I was going to have a great year that year. I got injured our last scrimmage the week before our first game.
What happened?
Came down, just busted my ankle, tore a lot of the ligaments, tore the cartilage up, which was tough. You know, had a light little stress fracture in the bone, just completely shattered it.
Left or right?
Left.
Okay. And that's your jumping one too.
Yeah, that's the jumping one.
Yeah.
So it was tough. It was tough because it was one of those games where I couldn't get anything to fall. And it was our 5th scrimmage, and the other 4 I was killing. Like I'm telling you, I had like 16 plus points in all of them, and I'm like, man, this is my year.
Yeah.
This is going to be the year that, okay, I'm really putting myself on the map and establishing, like I'm making a big jump. Yeah. Me and the coach, I loved that coach. He was great. You know, we had the realest conversation of my life. Like the second day, you know, we went out to dinner, and he was just saying, you know, we're chatting, and he's like, you know, what are your goals for this year, blah, 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 and I'm giving like the textbook college answer. I want to help the team. I want to blah, blah, blah. Trying to give him the Peyton Manning answer.
Yeah.
And he just puts his fork down. He goes, this is complete bullshit, Jett. Like, I'm not like, this is not what I want. What does Jett Speelman want? So I'm like, okay, you know, I want to make 4 times more money. I'm tired of this BS thinking I went to a small school and got to fight for my respect. I'm like, I think I'm the best player in this league. Like, I want to show blah, 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 blah. So he started nodding his head. He goes, now we're having a conversation. So I said, okay, this guy's real as shit. So,
do you remember his name? The coach's
Felix Benobre.
Okay.
He was Spanish again.
Okay.
Yeah, but Spanish, born in Spain, lived there for a few years, but then grew up in the UK. So he had like this English accent, but like also a little Spanish slur to it.
Yeah.
So it was unique. Real one. I think I chatted with him like last year or something. He sent me a message. So yeah.
So having that, well, unfortunately you ended up getting hurt, but I mean that confidence that you had early, coming from your first year and then trying to making a statement, your second year,
right?
And then unfortunately like getting hurt, man. How did you tackle that mentally?
It was tough. It was tough for sure because I felt like I was in a great position. Like we had said, my game had grown. I was killing in the scrimmages. The coach that really like fully believed in me from day one and was like, I'll teach you how to do a lot of stuff. Like, just trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, put your trust in me. I'll put my trust in you. I said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was disappointing going home injured, knowing that I was in that type of situation where I could have put myself. And the fact was, like, it was a pretty bad injury with the cartilage and everything. The German doctors are like, you might not be able to play because it's going to be bone on bone on your ankle for the rest of your life. So eventually that's just that wear and tear, like you're gonna have a lot of pain and issues. So I went home thinking like, man, maybe my career is probably done, which was kind of a sad thought, and I don't think I really fully analyzed it, especially when I saw the surgeon. He's like, yeah, like we can do what we can. He's like, he looked at it and he was a good surgeon. And thankfully, he was amazing. One of the best. Columbus, Ohio has a lot of great hospitals. Yeah. And he went in there, and it was nice because basically he's saying the ligaments are not an issue because we put there those repairs, so the cartilage doesn't necessarily repair. So he's like, I don't know how bad it is until we open you up and see it. So I get out of surgery, and he's kind of explaining like it was bad. He's like, so what we did was, he said, we drilled into your heel, pulled out some bone marrow, whittled it down to get the stem cells, opened you back up, shot it into the cartilage, drilled holes into your bone to stimulate the growth, and then, tied you back up, and here you are.
My goodness.
So my ankle, so I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll see how it goes. He's like, it's going to be a long rehab. I wasn't able to walk for 6 weeks, so that was kind of depressing, just kind of being on the couch, boot was laid up. My calf was the size of a finger. Yeah. No, I had like the one little kneel. Like, so I was getting around.
You rolling around?
Yeah, but and then luckily it healed up perfectly. They did the scan and the cartilage grew back 100%.
How long did I want to put for the audience, I just want to put a timetable on it so people can kind of register how everything went. So you said you had got to Germany in July, right? Yeah. And you hurt your ankle, a couple weeks? You said a couple weeks
I hurt my
ankle
mid-September.
Mid-September?
Yeah, so I was there for about 8 weeks.
Okay, and then you unfortunately end up getting hurt,
right?
And you come home. How long was the rehab process?
So I come home, and thankfully I was able to get surgery within like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I had surgery by the end of September.
Okay.
And I didn't walk for like 5-6 weeks, and then they take it off and slowly building it back and forth. But I was still like walking around. Like if I was leaving the house, I'm putting like a serious ankle brace on to lock it down, just because I don't want to slip. I'm not confident with it. And I don't think I didn't play 5-on-5 until maybe middle of May.
Oh man!
So it took some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so a lot of it was mental. Maybe I thought it was, I just didn't trust it for a while naturally. Yeah.
Nobody really talks about that aspect. Like you can heal physically, you know what I'm saying? But if mentally your mind isn't into it, you don't feel confident, you're just as injured,
And I think for me in my game, it affected how I rebounded the ball for like 2-3 seasons, maybe 2.5, because how it happened was I couldn't make a shot, so I'm just pounding the glass. So I remember I go up, boom, offensive rebound, put back, another offensive rebound, and one. I'm like, oh, now I'm here. I go up for that third one, come down, and just crack my ankle, I'm on the ground. So it took a while, and I think certainly in Luxembourg, where like there would be times I see the ball go up, and I'm going to jump, and I just stopped.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for it. So I think getting over that took a little bit longer. and then just kind of fully trusting my ankle.
Yeah, man.
And it would get sore. It got sore that whole year in Luxembourg after every game. I'm icing and doing what it had. So I think I might have played. I signed in Luxembourg, thankfully, early May, before I had even played 5-on-5. But I was playing threes and stuff, so I'm like, yo, by the time I leave in August, 3 months, I'll be fine. So I played a little bit and then signed and went. But even so, in preseason, my ankles, it's bothered me probably until mid-season and stopped getting sore after practice.
So what would you do? Any rehab process that you had to do on your own? Did you tell the next team in Luxembourg, like, hey, like, I just had this surgery, you know what I'm saying, you got to watch out for me, we got to do as much?
I told him, and certainly when I signed, my agent was like, he had to tell him the whole situation of why I wasn't playing, I was injured, blah, 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 but I kind of wanted to keep it more under wraps and not give him the full story of, no, I'm 100% cool, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Handle it on my own. I would see the trainer and stuff, but with the training staff wasn't necessarily there as much because it's a smaller club, smaller league. So I was kind of just icing on my own. I had done rehab at home for so long, so I knew exercises that we had been doing on that. I can do these on my own, no problem.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So, talk about Luxembourg a little bit. So you say you came from Germany not straight to Luxembourg, but you had that break and you went to Luxembourg. How was that experience? I know
it was
mentally,
nice. Yeah,
I know mentally it's a comeback season for you. That's what it sounds like.
For sure.
Like you coming back on your own as far as like the ankle injury, and then obviously you want to make a statement because you just missed a whole season basically. Because of your injury. So how was that?
It was nice, honestly, and I felt even more motivated because I'm thinking my career might be over, and then I'm rehabbing, and I remember for the longest time, even after surgery, I was like, man, I'm done. I don't want to play hoops. I wasn't watching basketball. I needed to, And then I remember seeing, this is kind of corny, remember when Derrick Rose had that 50-piece with Minnesota and he was crying and everything? I'm sitting there with my boot watching that like, bro, you're a pussy if you don't at least try to go back and hoop one more. Like, you're not going to go out like this.
Yeah.
So, shout out D Rose.
Yeah, for sure.
But I remember getting there and I was excited, even more motivated because I had a good summer. My game and my ankle was feeling good. My body was feeling good because I was really watching what I ate and everything. And I remember that first scrimmage, I was like, I'm in warm-ups, and I'm just kind of started smiling and chuckling. I'm like, damn, like, I'm really about to start hooping again.
About to start hooping again.
I had some sleepless nights thinking, like, you might never get signed, you might not play, competitively again. And I'm like, man, here I am a year later. So it was fun. I tried to play as hard as I could. Luxembourg was better. It was more Central Europe, obviously. I had another American on the team who was my roommate. So I'm like, okay, it's nice. I kind of got a little buddy. We can watch a movie.
First roommate that's American, right?
First roommate that's American.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is big time.
Yeah.
Like, he gets it. It was his second year as well. Really my third year, technically, but I hadn't played.
Yeah.
So we were having fun on the court, man. And we struggled. The first practice, our point guard tears his ACL. So I'm like, geez.
Oh, man.
Local guy.
Yeah.
So we were up and down, certainly. But I was playing well. I was enjoying being out there.
So it was only you and another American?
Yeah, so it was another situation where it's like I'm playing 40 minutes.
Okay.
I got to go get 25 and 10 for us to have a chance of winning. Bad basketball style. A couple good locals in the league, but Luxembourg is a small country. So like the top 3 teams got like the best locals.
Where is Luxembourg, if you don't mind me asking?
Luxembourg is in between Germany, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands.
Okay.
Small little country, and then it's kind of,
So at least for the road games, you weren't traveling too much.
For this road game, bro, it was like a 30-minute drive.
No way.
Yeah.
That's easy.
I mean, you could drive from the top of Luxembourg to the bottom in like 3.5 hours.
Okay.
It's tiny.
That's sweet.
And I'm driving myself.
Yeah.
So me and Chris get in the car. I'm like, man, 15 minutes to a road game. Let's go.
And you got fire countries next to you. You got France next to you. You got Germany.
Major train station in Luxembourg.
A speed one.
Oh yeah, high speed to Paris in like 2 hours.
Those be the best in
Super
Europe.
nice. Man. Yeah, I had my own car, which was great. Luxembourg's a super beautiful country. I was right in the main city, a little bit far north.
Okay.
So like a 10-minute drive on downtown.
Nice.
So a lot of Americans there. The women's clubs had 2 Americans as well. So a small country where people were going out, like, you know, there's 15, 16 Americans I'm meeting at the bar.
You see everybody.
Man, chilling, chopping it up. So socially, it was way different for me than Iceland, which I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had to. You had to take advantage of the Americans being there.
100%.
What did they speak in Luxembourg?
They spoke Luxembourgish.
Oh my.
But that sounded like German and French mixed. Like in Luxembourg, they speak English, Luxembourgish, German, and French.
Okay.
Because there's not a lot of like history. Like they would learn at school in German because they're not writing like history and mathematics books in Luxembourgish.
Yeah.
So they were, and a lot of their street signs and stuff is written in French. Okay. Luxembourg is kind of just a language that, you know, is within the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuffs, you know,
so what
signs would be Luxembourgish, but then, a lot of French people come in for work, a lot of German people come in for work, so they're
it's a nice little
like
blend.
trilingual basically.
Yeah. So obviously the food had to be the same way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very French flavors, you know, kind of German-esque.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I liked it. It was good. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's special. That's special. You get best of both worlds. Did you travel outside or anything like that?
I was able to travel. Yeah. So for Christmas, it was nice. We had a lot of breaks. We had like 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
So I had a buddy come through. We went to Paris, Amsterdam, and Cologne, and then back to Luxembourg. He went to Brussels because I was tired. We had practice coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But we went on like a 9-10 day trip. Had a great time. I was able to travel. But then COVID hits. So I had some travel plans at the end of the season, but that turned into like, yo, you're going home tomorrow.
So dang, so first year you in Iceland, right? And then second year Germany end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
Third year you're in
COVID
Luxembourg, and now COVID hits.
COVID hits.
Talk about that. What's going on?
So that was interesting. I'm thinking, you know, this is kind of a weird way to start pro hoops. But again, I was excited to go home. I made some good money. I saved up. And to be honest with you, it was like March. My ankle was starting to bother me. Just the wear and tear of the season. So I'm like, you know what? Going home early is not the worst thing. I can just rest my ankle and rehab, and then it's fully 100% better.
So were y'all locked down in Luxembourg?
We were locked down for like a week and a half. Because no one, I mean, you know, at that time, no one knew what was going on. Like, people were flooding the grocery stores. Me and my roommate went and stocked the whole fridge up. We're like, bro, people are going and emptying stuff at the grocery store. So I'm like, bro, we got to do the same. We're like, you know how that goes. So
yeah.
It was nice, though, because we had just signed a third American.
Mm-hmm.
So in that league, you can have 3, but they only play with 2. It's like a gentleman's rule on some stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had just signed a third American who was cool. And then, you know, we go to lockdown. So it was really us 3 hanging out. And then...
Same apartment?
No, he lived like across the street.
Okay.
And then there were 2 women on our girls' club. And on the neighboring club, the gym was literally like a 10-minute walk from our gym.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was really like 7 or 8 of us just chilling, you know, drinking beers. We're outside. It was warm at the time in the spring. We're playing like kickball and stuff, just trying to fill the day. But it was a good time for like the week.
So did y'all even, I mean, obviously you felt the impact from COVID, you know, having to rush and go to the stores and things like that. But socially, did you feel like you had a real negative impact on you, considering that, you know, you got all these Americans, like basically, you know, 10-minute walk, everybody was closed?
Everybody was close. Everybody was chilling. And I mean, you know, overseas, like closed stores and stuff were closed.
Yeah.
But like, I'm really just chilling until practice, and after practice, I might go get dinner or something like that. So for me to chill in the house and kind of make some food and kick it all day wasn't anything different than I was normally doing.
That's true.
Minus going to a restaurant, and then once everyone had no practice, it's like, let's just all kick it until we gotta go.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was nice. I had fun, honestly.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Because I remember when COVID hit for me, it was just me and my family, you know, but we literally couldn't even, like as teammates, we couldn't even really hang out. They would be tripping about that in the apartment complex that we were staying in. So that's what's up, man. So you had to go home after that, you know. What happens next?
So I go home, and of course I get home, and I'm not trying to act like I knew COVID was, but I was never quite sold on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get home, and, you know, I'm respecting my parents' wishes. Like, I'm in the house for like 2 weeks. I'm like, man, I've been home.
Quarantine?
Yeah, I've been home 7 months. Like, let me go see my boy. No, you're staying in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll respect this. And I'm thinking like, okay, after like a month or 2, it's gonna be done. All this stuff is. Of course, it wasn't, but gyms are closed, and thankfully my parents' basement, my dad's big into fitness, so we had a bunch of weights. I was able to work out, lift weights, and then I went to Walmart and bought like a $300 hoop, put it in the driveway, and was able to just work out there for a whole summer. And then, later on in the summer, they're like, okay, gyms can be open, but you're gonna have like 2 guys on the court.
Yes. So pointless.
Me and my buddy would play ones or something like that. Getting ready for the next season. Hanging out with my friends, kicking it. COVID was fun, honestly. It sounds stupid, but like me and my 2 best friends, we were just kicking it all the time.
Yeah.
Chilling, staying in the house. We rented a cabin in the middle of the woods on the lake in Ohio for like a week.
Yeah.
They were tired of just being locked up, so we went out there, just chilled.
Smelling that fresh air.
Smelling fresh air, making fires, just cooking, kicking. They were working. We brought some weights, so I would just lift some weights, chill, go for a jog through the woods.
Yeah.
And just kind of really just kick it.
So do you think maintaining your professionalism during COVID was easy just because you had access, well, you created access. I mean, obviously your dad was fortunate for the weight room, but you went and bought your own hoop too. So, I mean, do you feel like it was easy for you to just stay professional? You felt like you didn't slack at all?
No, I don't think I slacked much at all. And in hindsight, obviously I wanted to play more and add stuff in my game while I was playing instead of just like me in the driveway working on stuff. The ability to get up shots whenever I wanted, barring the weather. And then once the gym started opening up, like the last 2 months, I really felt like, I didn't really miss a beat.
So do you think so mentally you felt like you were okay? Obviously you had these little hiccups and obstacles going through your career, but mentally you were fine.
Mentally I was fine.
Yeah.
I had a solid season. I thought I would have some good options. Physically I felt better, and it was nice I was able to rehab my ankle, and I got to the point where my ankle was no longer getting sore after workouts or after I'm playing or after one-on-one. So I'm like, okay, my ankle is finally, 100%, I think. And yeah, I felt ready to go. I was excited.
So after COVID, what happens? How did you able to get that job? What was your agent doing?
Yeah, so I switched agents after that. I wasn't happy because my contract was guaranteed in Luxembourg. So I'm telling him like, bro, I want these last 3 paychecks before I leave. And he was kind of like, bro, just take what they get you and go home. So he wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready to fight.
And I'm like, bro, I'm not making a crazy amount of money, but like, I'm not going to have a job. Like, you're not going to fight for me at all?
Yeah.
Whatever. So I fired him and signed with a bigger guy. I was getting some interest in Japan that year. I think some interest in Switzerland. But then I ended up signing in the Netherlands. So.
What made you not pick, well, obviously it's not your choice, but what happened with the whole Japan thing?
Oh, they just fell through. He was just hit me up like, listen, like you're like a top 3 guy for this Japanese job. Fingers crossed.
But
it's kind of one of those things. And I'm like, okay. Obviously breaking into the Japanese market would have been ideal. So, hopefully, maybe at some point. But he was saying like, yo, listen, I think the Netherlands is a good option. I took a pay cut, but it was a better league. You could have like 6 imports. Met a couple Euro Cup teams. So I'm like, okay. Like he said, take a little step back to make a lot of moves forward. And I said, okay, let's do it. So I signed there. I don't leave till end of August. But the Netherlands is a very liberal country, and they were OD about the COVID stuff. So I get there, and me and my roommate, boom, 14-day quarantine.
Off the rip.
And granted, I was like, I'm not doing this. So I'm walking around the little town, going and getting groceries, because they brought like a little bit of food. But I'm like, I'm not going to be ignorant, but like, I'm not about to be just in this house.
For 14
days. Like, at least let me go for a walk, So we do that, and then it was a rough start in the Netherlands, bro. So 14-day, and then we have like 2 or 3 practices. And the club started freaking out because they didn't have me and my roommate's work visa. So like technically working there as an illegal is illegal. And if like the people who manage that come to a practice and see us practicing or get word of that, like it's like a $20,000 fine for the club. And my club was small.
Euro?
Yeah.
Okay.
My club was smaller at the time, so they're like, yo, we're not taking this hit. Like you guys just aren't practicing.
For sure.
So we could kind of sneak in and practice here and there. because our coach was American. He was cool about it. So we would just kind of get there early. So in Washington, we'd get some shots up and work out, then watch the team practice. But I ended up missing the first 2 games. Me and my roommate, Austin Luke, shout out Austin.
Shout out to Austin.
Dallas native.
For sure.
So, we watched the first 2 games. We get the win. And then it's another wave of COVID and they cancel the season. They postpone it. So I'm like, man, they postponed this October. I've been here since the end of August. I haven't even touched the court with the team.
So you going through some stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
So I'm calling them. I'm talking to my friends. They're like, bro, maybe you zip it up. Like, this not, bro, basketball is not really working out. And I'm like, bro, but it's not like these are like these freaky situations that are happening.
Stuff you can't control.
It's not like I'm going, when I'm out there, I'm playing well. Like,
For sure.
This shit is just happening.
It's just happening, bro.
And they're like, oh, you should zip it up. I'm like, bro, you're in a cubicle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm out here chilling, getting paid in a foreign country. Like, I might as well just rock out for a little bit.
You doing something that you dreamed of.
Exactly.
Man. How can you give it up right now?
Exactly. So that season's postponed, and we're still working out. They're still paying us, and they allowed us in the gym, but you could only have 3 guys on 1 hoop. Or maybe it was 2, it doesn't matter. So we're going in there, and we're just doing shooting drills for 2.5 hours. Playing one-on-one nonstop, and thankfully there was this other gym I lived in. We were playing in the city of Nijmegen, and it wasn't. They had our gym on lock, but they had this other gym that one of the guys in the club had keys for, and he was a real one. He would go and let us in at like 12 at night. So all the players, and we had a couple Dutch dudes that knew some guys who would hoop, so we would get like 15, 20 guys.
Y'all hooping?
Late night, hooping late night.
At 12?
11, 12, late
That's
at
lit.
night. And it was sick, dude. It was sick. A couple days a week. And and I think that's what helped our team, because like people are really jawing at each other in an open gym, and it's late, and
Bro,
so that was a lot of fun.
Think about it. All that testosterone was built up for. We just want to hoop.
Yeah.
COVID,
We're sneaking in
things
there like,
happening.
yo, don't go to the front door, go to the back door. Like, because even the Dutch neighbors, like, they're telling on people, like, if you have...
Oh, they snitching.
If you got non-family members in the house, like, cops are getting called, they're snitching crazy. I'm like, bro, they're rule followers. I'm like, you relax.
Yeah.
You know, this ain't that serious.
Yeah.
So that was fun, just playing like that. But then it hits, I'm there for Christmas, but like a week before Christmas, they're like, listen, we're going to restart the league in like a bubble-like format mid-January. So then we just... we started practicing, and from January till May, we just ripped out like 30 games.
Ooh.
Made playoffs. We're playing. I was killing, playing well.
What you average? Talk about it.
I average a little less than like 15, like 5.5, but I'm shooting the shit out of the ball, bro. I ended up shooting like 50, 50, 80 that year.
My guy is a well-known career average 50, 40, 90 guy, splits. Like, I'm just letting y'all know that right now. So when he say he's a real shooter, man, he's a real life shooter. This man just went 9 for 10 in one game this past year with us in Dorados. But I just wanted to let it be known, bro. Cause
Pop me up a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. You're a real sniper, bro. And so it's easy to rebound for my guy, you know what I'm saying, when we doing partner shooting, man.
Yeah.
But
I think that was one of the years that really, because we were just shooting.
Yeah.
During COVID. And even after that, my coach, he was big on that. Like, we would, the day before games, we'd walk through their stuff, watch film, yada, yada. But then he's saying, like, make 10 threes in a row at 5 spots before you can leave. So.
And you committed to it.
Yeah.
You know,
and
obviously
it's taking some time,
people,
and it's a fury. You hit like 8 in a row, you chunk the ninth. It's like, bro.
Start over.
And then 8 out of 9 is damn good if you think about it that way. So I was able to really just iron out my form even more, and just the reps I got that year took my shooting to a whole nother level.
Nice.
So I'm killing that year. We end up going to the Cup Championship, losing, unfortunately. But we make playoffs, win one of the games, lose the second game. It was by point differential, so we were done, go home. But
they didn't do it like best of games, like best of 3, they only did point format?
The first series was a 2-game series, point differential. And then it was like a series of 3, series of 5.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Well, with COVID and everything, they wanted to just speed it up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Normally it's longer.
Yeah.
But they're like, you guys, we don't want you here till end of June.
And so you finished out, you felt pretty good how you finished out?
Yeah, I felt great. So I won the award for the best shooter in the league.
Clearly.
So I'm going home thinking like, man, I'm getting banked out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting cashed out. My agent was like, because I remember chatting with him on the phone before I went there. I'm like, listen, what do I got to do to make the money. I want to. He's like, listen, you do what you got to do there. I can get you in this league, that league, this league, that league. So I'm going home thinking like, bro, what more did you want? Basically 15, 5.5, 50, 50, 90. Bro, like, what more could I have done?
What more could you do?
We
right?
ended up regular season like 16-5. You know, not terrible. Go to playoffs. I'm thinking, going home chilling. I'm like, man, I'm not worried about getting signed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening?
So go home, and it was nice. Like the day before I got home, I ended up living with one of my best friend, the dude I went to college with, Dave. He was living in Columbus at the time. He had a spare bedroom, so I'm like, man, let me just crash with you. And the day before I go home, Ohio had lifted all COVID laws. Floodgates were open.
Okay, hold on. I don't mean to interrupt you, man, but one quick moment, because I know about that. But how was, just backtracking, how was Netherlands? Obviously, you couldn't really go out like that? You couldn't really do anything because of COVID?
So they had us locked up. We had 6 p.m. curfew the whole 9 months. Maybe not the whole 9 months. Like early on, it was a little more lenient, and you could be at a cafe on like a patio until like 8 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But then once they locked down everything again in like October, that's when they canceled the season. They went boom, 6 p.m. curfew, $500 fine if we catch you outside for the rest of the time I was there.
So you couldn't do nothing.
No, so it was grocery store, apartment, or practice.
Okay.
But thankfully, I lived with Austin, and then we lived with my Andres, this Colombian guy. We lived in a house, pretty good size, like 3-bedroom, 2-3 stories. It was like a side by side, smaller European house. But it was great. And everyone just clicked. So we moved around, and we had movie nights, and like we're all cooking together and drinking beers, and like it was a great time.
Okay.
I met some great friends in the Netherlands that I still go to see. I plan on seeing them when I get to Europe. So.
Okay.
The people I was with made it amazing. We had a lot of fun.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
Nice. I just wanted to clear that up for everybody who's listening, so that they know, like, because I knew COVID, you can't really experience much, but maybe clarification for the viewers and the listeners. So, yeah, man. So go ahead and talk about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that transition to the next year. How was that?
So it was interesting. I go home, and I'm not gonna lie, like I'm tired of being cooped up. We're out partying in the summer. Had a great summer. I'm still getting a lot of work in, but it wasn't the same level of, coming off Luxembourg. I was maybe more hungry for the opportunity. I was still working hard, but coming off the season I had, I'm like, the mindset of like I'm gonna have to grind out and just be really ready to play. Wasn't necessarily there as much because I'm like, I know I'm going to get a good job. So let me just like take my time. It was a long season. Still got the work in. But it was unfortunate because I ended up signing back in the Netherlands.
Same team?
Same team.
Okay.
So me and my agent are chatting the whole summer. It hits like mid to late July. And I'm like, bro, I'm not getting any interest, bro. You're not texting me about nothing. You text me about one French team. But that was in June, and it was just like, hey, this team is interested in you. And that was it. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm on his head. Bro, I did what you wanted to do. Like, what more do you want from me? Like, name another guy at my position, let alone in Europe, that shot 50% from 3 last year. Like, what are we talking about?
You got to market that.
He's trying to say, like, oh, these teams, like, they're looking for people at your position that, like, super athletic and just dunking shit. That's not really you, nothing personal. Like, these teams, they don't value shooting as much as they should, bro. Like,
at the 4?
At the 4.
That's...
And I'm like, bro, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, teams they build their teams sometime around a point guard and a 4. You know what I'm saying? 2 important positions. So I'm like, bro, you got to be shitting me. Like, there's nothing coming up. Me and him were on the phone for a while last time. The only interest I had was from another team in the Netherlands. So let me break it down. We had the season ends. Our coach was a rookie head coach, American guy, 40s. He signed with the top Dutch club.
Okay.
Donar Groningen. They got a huge budget, and he had played there as a player. So he signs there as a head coach. Our assistant coach signs to another Dutch team. Middle of the road, it's kind of same budget that Joost had. And then our point guard, Austin, signs in Donar, for considerably more cash than what, the Joost club was paying. So I'm watching this. This happened like the first 3 weeks after the season. So I'm like, bro, I'm about to get
making these
something's
moves.
About to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe he looks at me at Donar. But anyways, fast forward, the only interest I'm getting is from my assistant coach that was on the same level Dutch team. And I'm like, bro, this is an interest. He called me personally and was like, hey, listen, if you ain't got a job, like, you can come up here for a little bit more cash. I'll build a system around you, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, man. But he's like, honestly, like, I think you're going to have something better. He was just being kind of like a homie about it. Like, if you don't have any, you got a place for me.
Hold up, yeah.
So it hits late July, and that's the only interest I had. And the club I want, the club I was just with, wanted me back. And I talked to that coach, and he had a completely different offense and everything. And they allowed one more import that year, and they were combining with the Belgian league for the B Next.
Mm-hmm.
So my agent's on the phone like, yeah, you just don't have a lot of interest, yada, yada, yada. Like, I think it's best if you just resign back. It's not the money you want. Like, I'm sorry, but like, that's just kind of is what it is. The Netherlands league combining with Belgian league, it's gonna bring the level of play way up. This is better year for build your career, build your resume, all that stuff. And you know what I'm saying? August rolls around, and I'm like, bro, I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
So I just signed and go back to the same team for like not the money I wanted, not nearly as much of an increase as I thought I was going to get.
Yeah.
So going into that season, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm salty.
I was just going to say, like...
And in hindsight, I wish I would have, I had a couple agents hit me.
Yeah.
But knowing what I know now, I would have just, used multiple agents and done this. But I felt that loyalty to, I'm like, nah, man, he got me here, this person, let him work.
Yeah.
So, right after I signed back, this other agent hits me and is like, yo, I got an offer for you right here. Like, it's way better. But I'm like, bro, I literally just sent him. It was in Portugal, ironically.
Oh, man, yeah.
So, I was like, man, I literally just sent him the signature, like,
damn.
And maybe I could have gotten out of it. I just, at that point, I told the club who I was close with the GM, they were super excited. I told all my friends, I'm like, man, maybe I can't really call and tell them, like, yo, you got to end this. Like, I'm taking this. And then I'd have to figure out with the agent. So I was like, screw it, bro. I'll just rock with it at this point.
So mentally, I heard you say you were a little disappointed.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was mad.
You was pissed.
I was mad. And, the positives were I had a bunch of friends there. A couple of the same teammates, my boys were coming back. So I'm like, okay, I got some friends, and it ended up being a good year. And, I felt super comfortable.
Yeah.
They built a brand new gym and everything. So I'm like, the league is better. But I definitely struggled early that year. I thought because I was mentally out of it. I was just mad. I'm not even gonna lie. That first check hit, and I was pissed. I'm like, bro, this is not what I was thinking. Like last year, I'd be making.
Yeah.
The expectation I had.
Yeah.
And whether or not I should have had expectations or not, I'm like, man, I'm playing for this. Like, you got come on.
I think it's human, and obviously the society that we were in. And I just want to say this to the audience. It's like, the job that we have. It's weird because, you can get a regular job, right? Let's say in that cubicle, and the work that you put in, you can kind of build up, your income, but in some ways, I think for us, being in the profession that we're in, our salary and our income is like based on, some things that we can't control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like for you, it's like, yeah, you just had a great year. You shot 50, 50, 90, 15, 16.5 rebounds. Like, that's coming from where you came, that's a big step. And so, like, I think it sucks. I wanted to point it to the audience. Like, it sucks that sometimes, as human, we always do have these expectations. And,
right.
In the job and society, like, you can build it up, but like for us, it doesn't always work that way. It probably takes maybe 1 or 2 more years,
right.
To get what you feel like you deserve.
Yeah.
You can't even go to like your agent, or you can't go to the owner, GM, like, hey man, pay me this much, I want a raise.
Right.
You can't do that,
You don't have money for you.
Yeah, as soon as you sign on the line, like that's what it is, and that's just unfortunate. So I just wanted to pinpoint that out, man. But yeah, so with this, how did you do basketball wise? Like,
I had a good year. So after I kind of struggled for maybe a month and a half, and then I kind of looked in the mirror and I was like, bro, you're out here complaining about you're not making the money you want, but like that shit is not going to change right now.
Yeah.
And I'm over here obsessing and thinking about it and getting mad about the situation. It's like, this is the situation I'm in right now. I'm not going to be able to change it until after this year. And the only way I can change it the way I want to change it is if I perform better.
Yeah.
So I kind of had like a look in the mirror thing of like, I
had to take a step
down,
back.
take a step back, just start grinding. So I ended up having a great year. I think I ended up, we had a way more talented team. Didn't perform as well. The chemistry wasn't there. The coach wasn't necessarily handling the talent we had and, putting the pieces in the right spots. But I ended up having a good year and maybe 13 and a half, 5 boards again, shot the ball well, 40 from 3. Fired my agent mid-season because there was like a clause in his contract that you only have a certain window you can,
work with him or something like that.
Yeah, like you had to fire him within like the first 2 weeks of February or something weird that, or there's like you can put like a hold or something BS. I don't know.
And if you didn't fire him, then you would have to stick with him a whole year.
Automatically renewed.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. See, I don't even want to talk about the whole agent spiel because this is obviously your story, but that's stupid.
Stupid.
Try to trap you into like a 360 deal, like a musical deal.
And I didn't, when I was struggling, he necessarily had a couple comments that I didn't appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
So I really ghosted him the whole year.
Yeah.
And of course, I have a good game. He posted on IG. I'm not reposting it. I'm not replying to anything you say.
Yeah.
I'll answer the phone when you call, and I'll give you cold ass answers.
Mm-hmm.
But
your decision was already made.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I'm done with you because I was struggling early, and he gave me a call and was like, "Yeah, you're just not playing well. You're not doing this, that, and the third." And he said, "What's the biggest difference in your game this year without having Austin?" And I took that, and Austin had a crazy year, averaged 10 assists, great passer. I'm not taking anything away from his game. He's a great player. But I'm sitting there thinking like, bro, you think I'm dog shit without this dude?
Yeah.
I took that disrespectful. So I'm like, bro, I'm just not talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So
that's a wild comment.
Yeah, of course, wild comment.
Yeah.
He called me and I said hello and he yawned 3 times before he said anything. I'm saying, bro, this dude is being mad disrespectful. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you're not playing well. Well, what's the difference? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah. So
you haven't watched one game.
Did he represent Austin?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That was his guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was trying to put y'all two together and probably thinking something like a package deal maybe for a next job or something. Well, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's probably what he's thinking. But regardless, your situation is different from Austin's, and your game is different. Like whether y'all complement each other or not, it's still a single player endeavor right now.
Exactly. And then once I did start killing, he's like, "Oh man, you keep playing like this, we're gonna have options." And I'm thinking, like, bro, you said that last year.
Yeah.
And now you weren't with me when I was down and struggling.
Yeah.
You didn't know what I was going through then. Family stuff, off the court, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to say like you're playing like shit. Like, yeah, I know. I'm out there. I'm looking at the stats too, bro. Yeah. So fired him. Ended that season really well. And then I ended up staying for like a month and just hanging out with all my homies and going to Amsterdam and goofing around. So it ended up being socially one of the best years of my life. One of the funnest because they opened up. And the Netherlands is a great place to have fun and shit's open late and everyone's on bikes. Super clean. Mm-hmm. The food is good. The people are super nice. Like 10 out of 10 English. So off the court and socially, it was a blessing going back. And I think I forged some relationships that I would like to keep lifelong, especially with some of my American teammates that I played there 2 years with. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it ended up being, a great decision going back.
Yeah. And fortunately, like you said, you got to experience Netherlands the right way.
Exactly.
Rather than, the COVID way. That's what's up. So after the Netherlands, after you fire your agent, I'm assuming you pick up a new one.
Yeah.
How did that go? Now, how are you feeling mentally? Because the thing about it is, obviously physically, people that've seen you talk to you, they know how you are. But, really mentally, like, that's what this podcast is for, to really talk about the mental. So how do you feel? How did you feel transitioning to the next country?
The next country, I felt good, bro, because at this point, it's like my 4th year going off, or maybe 5th, it doesn't matter. And so I kind of understand how these agents are working, how they're moving. So I'm talking to a couple different ones. I'm thinking like, kind of really vetting them out, seeing where they're placing players, seeing what they're saying about me, what they think they can get me. Because, they're only, if the agent hits you up, it's because he thinks he can make cash off you. So whoever's, kind of chatting to you the most and really about it, And I had a great feeling from the guy with Flex Basketball, so I ended up signing with him.
Okay.
Go home for the summer, and I'm locked in, working out super hard. You know, I was locked in the year before, but with the COVID and everything, and going out and partying and all that fun stuff, I wasn't as locked in as I should have been. So I'm like, okay, like, you know, I don't need to be doing that all again. Like, we can go live normally. So I'm locked in, and I'm just excited because he's saying, you know, early June, he's like, listen, I got something in France maybe, or I got something to Czech. And I'm like, man.
He talking to you early. That's what you like to
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
and
love
I'm thinking,
it.
like, all right, man, like, I'm finally I might be able to choose where I get to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is the first for me instead of just taking that first or second option. So he hits me early July, a couple days before my birthday. And it's like, yo, listen, man, I got a couple offers for you. What do you think? So he had one in Hungary, and then one in Portugal, and then Austria. I was still in the running as, like, you know, top 2 or 3 guy, but they hadn't offered yet. And he's like, maybe they're BSing. I don't know how long this is going to take with the other 2. So the team in Portugal was in Madeira, a tropical island. So I saw that, and my mind was made up.
Yeah.
It was a lesser league than Hungary, and the team was not as good.
Yeah.
The Hungary team, you know, they were a Europe Cup team, and I wanted to play there. But,
yeah. What team?
Igis Korman.
Okay.
Maybe I pronounced it wrong.
I don't know. I don't remember.
But it was in, like, a small little village, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, man, I gotta go check this out right now.
Yeah.
I'm from Ohio, bro. I'm used to cornfields and farms.
You want to experience something?
Man, it's still a good league. I'm like, if I do what I gotta do there, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want the sun. So
yeah,
I'm signing with Portugal. My agent, he wasn't necessarily happy about that decision. He wanted me to go there, and obviously in hindsight, it's 2020. I'm like, you know, maybe I should have given out, you know, the season Portugal went, but you know, that was a decision I made at the time.
It happened.
What I wanted. I trusted my gut feeling was Portugal, so I trusted my gut. So.
And so, how was that flying there? You know,
it was crazy, bro.
Because I know you seeing that sun, you seeing water,
fully surrounded. We land. I get out the plane, and it's just water as far as the eye can see, and the mountains and everything. And it's like 85 and sunny. I'm like, wow, okay, this is not a bad spot to be.
Nah.
I think I'll be fine.
I know socially, it's great, right?
Yeah, coffee out in the sun, looking at the ocean. I'm like, man, bet. Like our gym, you walked out of our gym and this boom, ocean, cliffs going down and stuff like.
So now
if I'm at the free throw line and the doors of the baseline are open, I can see the water.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was nuts.
So it's beautiful, then,
beautiful,
bro. Yeah, that's something. Regardless, we can sit here and be like, "Oh, you should have made the choice to go to Euro Cup," you know, with Hungary, whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to see a beautiful freaking place. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that nobody can take away from you. You can obviously find another Euro Cup team or anything like that, but I like your decision.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure you live with that and you love it too.
Yeah,
you know
for sure. Pros and cons to either one.
Yeah,
you know,
everything. So how was the basketball competition there?
The basketball was good, man. Against 6 imports. It was a good league. You know, they had a couple top teams. Their top teams were like Benfica, Sporting, Porto. You know, 2 of those Champions League. Benfica's is, you know, perennial Champions League. I think they made Final Four the year before, so they were stacked, loaded. And it was fun playing against that competition. Different style than the Netherlands, a little bit more inside oriented. A lot of floppy actions. You know, not as much space, but it was fun.
Were the locals good?
The locals were a little bit better than the Dutch.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty good locals, I think. Okay, and because Portugal owns, I think it's, what is it called, Cape Verdon, where who's the big dude for Madrid? You know what I'm talking about? Monster.
I know exactly who you're talking about, bro. Tavares.
Yeah, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
So there were some really good Cape Verdon players that play on the Cape Verdine national team, but they're Portuguese. So they kind of had like a little mix of that. Yeah.
That's what's up.
So
That's what's up.
There was some good comp.
And then being obviously with 6 Americans, you know, everybody has to step up their game. You know, they don't want to get lost in the sauce, so to speak.
Exactly. We had some rookies. I don't think they put the best team together in terms of how the league was. I don't know why they signed 3 rookies that didn't really understand what was going on. And
yeah,
they're out there not
trying to be cheap, bro.
Trying to be cheap. They're not making the most cash and bitching about it. And they're out there, for the most part, yeah, you guys are talking about winning, but like you guys are out here trying to get your stats and establish yourself, which I understand. I've been there, but like, bro, this ain't the type of team to do that. There's 6 of us. 6. You know what I'm saying? There's not 2 of us where you got to go kill. Like, bro, we gotta play more as a team. But guys just didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So we're kind of up and down. Our center goes down day 1 of practice.
Oh my
Day
goodness.
1.
Import?
Local.
He was a local. Okay.
Yeah, and we didn't have a backup. And they signed me, and then another 4-man who was like, 6'6", really.
Yeah.
Like 210.
Yeah. So you're bigger than him.
Bigger than him.
Oh, so are you playing the
So
5
I'm
now?
down to the 5.
Another obstacle.
Another little thing. And I get them like, bro, how many players have I lost day 1 of practice?
Yeah.
Like, and we lose you can sacrifice a wing. You can't lose the big guy.
That's tough.
You gotta have your big guy.
Yeah.
So especially in that league, a lot of big beefy centers that can move, that can play.
Mm-hmm.
So it was tough. So I'm down there, and they don't re-sign. So it was challenging because there's not a lot of Portuguese centers that you can get that aren't already taken.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept on BSing and saying like, oh, he can get back. He's rehabbing. He might not need meniscus surgery, which in reality, like there was no injury. He had a meniscus problem the season before, didn't have surgery or rehab it over the summer, and then after the first practice back, his knee is swollen, and he's like, yeah, I think it's my meniscus again. It's like, bro, you didn't handle this when you needed to handle this, so now he's doing this BS rehab in Lisbon, saying, and the club is like, oh, well, we think he's gonna come back. We think he's gonna come back. We think he's gonna come back. It's like, bro, we are 9 games in and we're 10 games in and we're 1-9 right now. Like, we can't rebound the ball because I'm just more so focused on my guy not getting it.
Yeah.
I can jump and rebound, but like I can't jump with 6'11".
Mm-hmm.
Especially I'm giving up weight, so I'm like, man, let me see. I'm just trying to wedge him under the basket, make sure he don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're struggling like that. I'm not happy with the position I'm playing. I'm not really getting looks.
Yeah.
They're switching everything, and then our coach was stupid and is like, yeah, everyone space out, let the guard go once, break the big guy off. And I'm like, bro, why are we? This is not working. We don't have the guards to do this.
Don't even get me started on that philosophy. Like, I'm a big,
Stupid.
you know how we are. So we always prefer inside out.
For sure. I'm like, bro, just
unless
throw it to me. I'll throw that bitch back out.
Yeah, unless you got a guard that can, all right, go get it.
And we had good guards, but it wasn't. No one was necessarily a one-on-one assassin like that. Where it's, let's pull it out. Like,
yeah.
And it wasn't working, and every team would then just continue to switch because it's not working.
Yeah.
So definitely struggled a little bit early on.
Were you able to get your pick and pops? I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I got a little bit pick and pops for
Okay.
sure. But yeah, I was definitely struggling a little bit because at that time, when we want to talk about the mental aspect, I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, I'm here playing the 5. And I had lost 20 pounds. I got food poisoning and I was sick and didn't eat for like 10 days. So I'm skinny, skinny as I've been since, sophomore year of college. I'm at the 5 and we're 1-9. I'm like, this island is beautiful, but I don't like being here. Because, basketball's not working. I'm sitting here thinking like, I couldn't get the thought out of my head of like, man, you should have gone to Hungary. Like you messed, like you should, So that thought is just in my head. So it took a little while for me to get over that and just be like, all right, bro, like you're thinking about shit that is taking you away from being present right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do to change it,
Yeah.
Why I'm just sitting here thinking about the what ifs, like, at the time I didn't want to go to Hungary. I wanted to come here, and now I'm bitching because I'm at the place where I wanted to go to. I'm like, that's selfish.
Yeah.
That's so selfish.
Yeah.
So once I was able to get past that, I'm like, all right, like, dude, just go hoop. You're getting good money. You're getting the money you wanted. You're in a place you wanted. It's not the ideal circumstance, but when is it ever really going to be the ideal circumstance? So I'm like, put your head down, grind, do what you can, winning some games. 6 months later, we finally signed a center. And then we win like, I don't even know, we win like 70% of our games left once we finally get a center.
It's too late by that time, right?
And the club was stupid. We had one of our wings who was a rookie, he tore his knee in a practice. So we're all sitting there thinking like, man, I feel bad for everybody, but they got to sign a center.
Yeah.
What did they do? They signed a wing. The wing comes in, he's trash, he's not doing much.
Bro.
he was a good player, but he was coming off an injury too. So he's getting there rehabbing, not necessarily rehabbing it, but he's got
trying to
get
back in
legs
the
under him and shit. You know, and then it hits like February after the FIBA break, and they finally decide to cut him, and then boom, finally bring a center in, and then we start rolling. So
need that center, man.
Man, needed a center. Needed a center.
That's the thing, man. These clubs, bro, they be trying to be super, super cheap. And it backfires. But honestly, it doesn't necessarily backfire for them because at the end of the day, you know they're going to probably have the same budget, maybe a little bit less than the year before or whatever. Then, you know, they back to picking the same, well, not the same, but, you know, 4, 5, 6 Americans. But for us, it's like in your perspective, you had to play the 5.
Yeah.
You know, that's not your position.
Nah.
Now agents and everybody's gonna call it, why is he playing the 5? What's going on? I thought it was a 4. Then at the same time, the ball's not necessarily coming your way like how you usually, you know, get it. You know what I'm saying? So yet again, these little mental things that you gotta go through year by year, and
that's just how it goes.
Yeah, sometimes we get the shorthand, but...
And you know how it is, they were having meetings, and they're like, y'all imports got to play better, some of y'all are going to go home, like, you got to give more effort. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, yeah, for sure, we could all definitely, I could play better. But like, look at the situation we're in. They're starting 6'11", 6'9". I'm starting center 6'7", maybe 6'8" on a good day.
Yeah.
And their backup center 6'10". I'm like, bro, we are outgunned out here.
Yeah.
You know? And the blame is all on us. You guys aren't drawing up. We're not even playing small ball. We're not even switching. He wants to ice every single ball screen.
Oh, they're probably just throwing it up.
What, bro? Icing, short roll to the middle, and he wanted to force everything so hard baseline in the sense of like my whole hips are turned this way to send you baseline, and he wanted that middle guy charge arc every single time. So the amount of times that like short roll to the middle, and that dude, boom, guys on the rim, wow, every single time, or every single time,
passing it to the corner, getting good rotations. Nothing you can really do
We're
about
fine.
that.
It's a long closeout, first rotation every time.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can't play basketball like this. Like, what do we do? We're small.
Yeah.
Let's switch.
Yeah.
They're gonna post us up anyways.
Regardless.
We're not switching, then they're posting us up. Like, we might as well switch it, and then at least maybe the guard can get a foul because the big man is doing all this, or pull it out, and now by the time he gets it, he's got 5 seconds. You know, we're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Coach was, you know, horrific. He had been there for years. His brother and his cousin were like on the board. You know, he'd been a coach for like 15, 20 years. He had a little bit of success.
Yeah.
The year before, they go, you know, they almost make the second round of the playoffs, but their teams, you know, they had 6 imports, all of which were seasoned, 3-4 seasons in. Grown men playing, established in Europe. They're not out there looking for stats, you know. And he didn't even really have to coach that because these guys just kind of understood how to play.
So he's just getting a check, basically, at this point. He don't really have to work.
Not changing anything.
Like
he would come in and say, like, his defensive philosophy was legitimately, he would say, make it happen. That's my defensive philosophy, make it happen.
Make
so
what happens.
That's what I'm saying. Make what happen. I'm like, bro, we're not making any adjustments.
Yeah.
We've been running the same plays. I'm watching film of a couple seasons in the past. I'm like, y'all running the same exact plays. Ain't got no switch up. Like, we're just scouted to a team. I'm like, bro,
scouted to a team.
But again, we're taking the heat for it. You know, I'm like, bro, you got to be a man, take some responsibility for this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not all on us. Like, you're the head of the ship, and the ship is already sunk.
Yeah.
So,
nah, it seems like it was a rough year in Portugal.
It was rough, bro. It was rough. It was not, you know, ideal. But I got better, learned a lot, had a good tan, being on the beach every off day.
Yeah.
So, I had a couple, but I had one of my good friends was able to come out and we explored the island, and you know, I had a good time. It was fun. Learned a lot.
So how do you? I know we talked about it a little bit, but like again, like you know, stat wise, did you feel comfortable? Do you feel like you underachieved?
Yeah, definitely. I felt like I underachieved. I ended up with 11-5, 50, 40, 90.
Again,
which is
that's rare, bro. Yeah. Think about it. How many people really get 50, 40, 90s? Yeah. Maybe I got to do some more research, but I love it, bro. Go ahead.
That's what it is. But I felt like certainly I started off real slow. You know, I wasn't in the rock, so I wasn't scoring as much as I wanted to early on. I thought I could have rebounded the ball better, but again, playing at the 5, it was tough being undersized and, undersized, underweight, and, obviously I'm not jumping with some of these athletes out there, but I wasn't happy with how I played. I thought I could have played more aggressive from the jump. I thought I let the game come to me a little bit too much, and then by the time, I should have just came in more aggressive. Is what it is. Learned a lot, but definitely felt like, I thought it should have been like a 14-6 type of year, I think, but it wasn't. But there was a lot of outside circumstances. So
yet again, that you can't control.
Can't control. But I mean, I could have played better for sure. Is what it is. But I think as an athlete, you could always think you played better. But at the end, I'm like, okay, I got 11-5, 50, 40, 90. Like, it's not terrible.
No, what else can you do, right?
And it was good for me that when we played, I had some really good games against our top teams.
Okay.
So that helped. We played Benfica. I played well both times, and then we got spanked by Sporting once, didn't play well, but then we battled with them once, played really well. Same with Porto. So I played well when I needed to, and then my playing time was a lot less once the center came in, which was odd. He stopped messing with me a little bit. So I don't know why. He was just kind of
just off.
He was a weird guy, bro. Bad coach, got fired.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Oh, okay. So he ended up losing his job? During the season or the next year?
At the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I'm not saying that that's cool, like he lost his job.
No,
but
it was his side job, brother. The dude was like a teacher. He's coming in there bullshit. Every day.
Yeah.
We're not running the same practice schedule every single day.
Yeah.
We're not working on D. We're not putting in new sets. We're going to run set A 5 times each time, set B 5 times each time, set C 5 times each time. We're going to get some shots and we're out.
That's it?
But it was a lot longer. He would have us going live for like an hour and a half the day before a game.
But again, if you kind of remember the baseline of how practice
every single practice was textbook the exact same. You might switch up one drill, but it wasn't a new drill. We just did it. We didn't do it yesterday, so we did it today.
See, I mean, that's how I know, like, my college coach was a great coach because I didn't know what to expect at any time, and coming into practice, I think those be the best things because you switch it up, you know what I'm saying? And we get excited, something fresh, something new.
We never went to a score. It was just like, you're going to get your 5 reps in. The other team's going to get their 5 reps in, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, wow, that's boring,
so, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
Nah, that's what's up. So after Portugal, getting to experience the beach, the island, great things. Obviously, unfortunately, you didn't have the best basketball, season that you wanted. But after that, what's next? What's next after Portugal?
So after Portugal, man, I go home and decided to live with my parents for the summer. I'm like, let me just really lock in. I was pissed off about how my season ended. Again, I finished really strong, but I couldn't get that thought out of like, man, I was good enough to kill this league and I didn't do what I should have done. Or maybe not what I should have done, what I was capable of doing. So that was eating at me. I'm like, you know what, I'm just go home, chill with my parents, And granted, I still saw my friends and injury. But, let me just lock in even more and get even, I'm tired of this. And as I said, I had lost some weight, so I was really trying to focus on my diet, focus on building my body back to the strength I wanted it to be at. And then, my agent hit me up again early July and was like, what'd you think about Mexico? And I initially, because Americans' views on Mexico's cartel, this and that, and, my parents don't necessarily have the best view of Mexico, so I'm like, I was a little bit sketchy, but then I was like, you know what? Why not? It was a nice offer. The gym looked cool. Nice enough city. I'm like, my agent's like, it's a good league, great comp. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So it was unique because it was the first time it was like a shorter contract. So now being a free agent at this time is completely new, and that comes with its own level of anxiety and shit. But my agent's like, listen, as long as people get cut left and right, and he's like, bro, as long as you don't play bad, you'll be fine. Play solid, and this will be a big jump for you. So I said, okay, man, let's do it.
So talk about your experience in Mexico, man. How was it? Season's over, so
Season's over.
You can't get in trouble now, huh?
So.
Just air it all out, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, get the list, but I had a good time here. Honestly, it was basketball-wise definitely a different style than Europe and everything. Physical, more dirty than physical. If we're being real,
Yeah.
like it's a war out there.
Yeah.
Especially we're just give a bump, take
Yeah.
another bump. That shit is, it was exciting. But Mexico itself is a beautiful country. I think, Mexico is super slept on. I think the people here are great. The food is nice. The weather is great. And seeing all the cities we've seen, of course, there's some places you're going to want to be, but there's some places like I definitely want to come back and visit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when it comes to basketball, I think I had a solid year. It was a different role for me first time, honestly, since I was a sophomore in college coming off the bench. So that was kind of unique in the sense of like, okay, how do I keep my body warm? How do I get into a flow early? How aggressive do I come off the bench, off the rip? Do I come just start firing? Why not? Or, so that was kind of a balance. And then we got like 10 Americans, so everyone's out there trying to get their chicken. You know what I mean? But that being said, we didn't have a
10 Americans, y'all. Y'all heard that right.
Americans,
10 Americans, bro.
10 Americans. So.
I'm not going to tell y'all how that happened, but we just know we got 10.
10 of them.
Yeah.
Yes, as they say.
Nah, that's what's up, man.
On the court, honestly, I think personality-wise and team-wise, it's the funniest team I've been on since college. It's been a pleasure playing with you guys, and the road trips, everything's hilarious. Like, something funny is happening at practice daily. You know, everyone got along amazingly.
Yeah.
Of course, we had some beef, talking shit in practice, but that's not as basketball. You're going to get salty with someone and bark at them a little bit, but I've enjoyed Mexico. Excited to get home, for sure. I don't think, definitely would like to make playoffs, and we underachieved as a team, for sure, but
1,000%.
I definitely enjoyed my time in Mexico.
Yeah.
A lot more than Portugal.
So why do you, we don't have to talk about why, but do you feel like the stereotypes of Mexico and what you witnessed is complete, total opposite?
Total opposite. I'm thinking it's like you don't really want to be out at all at night. I'm telling them, I'm calling friends from home, like, yo, what's up? I'm walking home from practice. They're like, yo, you walking home from practice? Like, what time is it? I'm like, bro, I live in a gated community. Like, what are we talking about? They're not even stray dogs. There's no trash on the walk home. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, there's been times, going out in Mexico that the bar closes or whatever and everyone's on the streets, and it's like, you know what, I feel more safe here than I do late night in Columbus, Ohio, because I know people are out there banging and got guns and shit, and the people I think are super friendly.
The hospitality.
And it's not that I didn't expect that, I just didn't, I'm in Ohio, and not a lot of Mexican people in Ohio, so, but the people have been lovely, going out of their way to help you. Great English, very, what's the word, outwardly expression, you know what I'm saying? So I think Mexico's a great place.
Did you like the fans? Did you like the
fans
atmosphere?
were crazy. Yeah, the fans and the gyms were nice. The fans are going crazy at all the games, which in Europe, it's sometimes in Portugal they're like, yo, there's a basketball team on that island? I'm like, yes, there is.
Yeah.
So
usually and in Europe, that's why I did that, because they just clap. Some fans they just clap and just sit there.
Nuts. They're standing up, spilling beers, banging horns. They want autographs and pictures. And there was I'll never forget, if you remember when we were playing in the Cup against Fuerza and we're coming back and Marvin hit the three, and it was a deafening sound on the court, and I'm running back like, yo, I can't hear a thing. There's like 8,000 people in here going berserk. So I thought the atmosphere of the play is amazing. I'm
gonna put a picture for everybody to see.
The away games were lit. Like,
what was your favorite
away game?
Favorite road game?
Man, I gotta go with Veracruz. That second Veracruz game.
Which one was that? Was Halcones Rojos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game, because we choked that first one, of course, and the second one we came out like some dogs.
Yeah.
And the fans were nuts, and it was back and forth. And their gym was very aesthetically pleasing. They had good music, good different colored lights. They went all red at an important timeout. And I remember being in a timeout, shit goes all red, and I'm like, yo.
Yeah, I remember. we looked. I think we looked at each other. Yo, like this shit is red.
The energy in here just changed.
Yeah,
it was wild.
Yeah, I low-key just got excited thinking about it, bro. It was those are definitely some wartime moments. Like thinking about it, like being in a different atmosphere, crowd hates you. You know what I'm saying? Like you obviously got to thug this out. Every game, it felt like our back was against the wall, just because we split every series besides what
the first and the last.
Yeah, the first and the last one.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. Did you like the food here?
Food was nice. Minus the no cheese on tacos. And they'll tell you they won't put it on the taco. They won't put it. I'm like, bro,
America's the only place that put cheese on tacos.
They will give you beef in a flour tortilla and hand it to you.
Some salsa,
maybe a couple onions.
Yeah.
One lime. And it's good. I'm like, all right, this is damn near healthy.
And it's cheap too, right?
Cheap. The food is solid, honestly.
Yeah. So
I enjoyed it, man.
So mentally, last question, and then we'll get into the rapid fire questions. But mentally, how do you feel like? Do you feel like you accomplished things here? Do you feel like it was a solid one? I mean, obviously we clearly underachieved, but how do you feel like personally? How do you feel like your season went?
I think personally it went good. Honestly, naturally, as I said, like, it doesn't matter how good you play. I think as an athlete, like, you're always thinking you can play better. But I think I did what I needed to do in the minutes I had, the opportunities I had. And I think for me, showing that, like, I could play on a very deep roster in limited minutes and still be very efficient, very productive, and impact winning, I think that helps my resume to, get signed to other top clubs that, like, okay, like, sure, Speelman can play 28 minutes, 31 minutes and get crazy stats and do all this, but, like, okay, we can use him for 18 minutes and he's going to be out there helping us win.
Doing something.
Yeah, exactly. So
shooting lights out.
Doing what I can.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, bro. I really, really appreciate you being here. Obviously, I'm going to have to, really, really, like, watch my next roommate, because, like, you're the perfect roommate, bro.
Nah,
you know what I'm
bro.
saying? Hopefully, my next teammate that I have or roommate, is as good of a person as you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You honest. I could go down a list, but I think everybody
we had some great chats in the room, hilarious moments.
Yeah,
some hilarious moments
for sure. That'll definitely stick with us forever, man.
Facts.
But nah, there you have it, man. Guest Jett Speelman, his story. Check it out on all platforms. Coming to you soon, man. Appreciate you.
My dog. Appreciate you, man.